Yeah. Hi guys, my name's Charles, this is my wife Ellen, and tomorrow Ellen will be 14 weeks pregnant with our twins. So it's been about 2 weeks since we sat down and recorded something, and yeah, like last time we sat down and recorded something, we're on a bit of a high. So basically, you know, like we knew Ellen was pregnant from about 3 weeks, and we're waiting for our 12-week scan. I think one of my biggest fears was that, you know, when we went to the scan, one or both of the babies wouldn't be there, and when we sat there, saw 2 heartbeats, we're very excited, and so I think we jumped the gun a little bit, and you know, we started telling everyone, posting stuff on Facebook. And yes, that's right, Ellen is pregnant. And we're having twins. And then we didn't really wait for our test results to find out, you know, if there was anything kind of seriously wrong.
Yeah. And
then being that it was Christmas Eve, we had to wait like 3-4 days for our test results.
No, well, firstly though, we saw the radiology result, which showed that one twin had a high nuchal fold. 6.7, which is very high.
It's about double the normal.
With what they would say is within normal range.
Yeah.
While the other twin was well under.
1.3?
1.9, so.
1.9.
So we had that information, and then we had to wait for the combined blood test results, which, you know, we knew we were going to come back with a not great result.
When we did get those results, we had, like, there was an abnormal, like...
So we had 1 in 13 chance of Down syndrome, and 1 in 12 of trisomy 18, which was the scarier factor. It's not something that babies could survive.
Yeah. So we're trying to weigh up our options. Ellen, just like anyone else, would just be Googling everything that she could. Joined a few twin groups on Facebook, and you know, just asking a whole lot of questions. And we came to the conclusion that we're going to do a nip test. After talking to the people at the Women's and Children's, they didn't think it was a good idea. They encouraged us to do a CVS test. It's very controversial, quite invasive. It's got about, depending on what study you look at, a 1 in 100 or a 1 in 200 chance of having miscarriage. So we're just weighing up our options, and with Ellen having the placenta on the outside,
anterior
placenta, they said that the risk was very minimal. So we ended up booking that in, and we went and did that.
This was after having a conversation with a maternal fetal medicine specialist,
yeah,
who really reassured me that the babies, you know, that if I was going to miscarry, I was going to miscarry, that the babies should be fine. And he did an ultrasound, and we had a look at them, and they looked good. And then you know, from there, feeling comfortable with who was going to be performing the CVS. We went ahead and did it, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I mean, like, it didn't look like a test that was like gentle. Like, you know, we're talking about a needle that's like this long, and he pokes it in, and then when he gets to the placenta, he's like, just
You
kind
can see
of.
it on the ultrasound machine.
And it looked like he was quite rough with it, but he was saying to us, it's like, it's all right, you know, it's like cotton wool, you know, we're just extracting the fluid, everything's all good, but it did look quite rough.
But it was actually like they talked me into it being a bit painful, and it really wasn't. It was the needle I had after her more than that, so it wasn't too bad. Within or the next day, we got a call saying that the chromosomes were normal in the twins. They do do further testing. I can't remember what they called that. But it'll go through a lot of different chromosomal disorders.
Yeah,
and,
they're very thorough with the extent of the testing.
That'll take about 2 weeks to get back to us, but we suspect that should come back normal, hopefully.
Like, one of the things that we're thinking is because our twins are identical twins, that if there was a chromosomal disorder with one, then there should be like the same disorder with both, and the nuclear fold test was only abnormal with one of our twins, so we're just hoping that it was a bad scan, and that, you know, there was some other reason why it showed abnormal.
The doctor did suggest that sometimes with a baby, when they're small, their hearts are stiffer, so it's a bit harder for them to pump fluid, and being twins, that one often takes on more fluid than the other, so they had a very thorough check of the hearts as well while they were doing the CVS, and they looked good, and already the nuclear fold was 6.7 at 12 weeks, and it was 3.5 just the other day, so it's gone down quite a bit.
A lot, yeah. So basically, you know, I'm working full-time, Ellen's working part-time, full-time parents to Emily. We had all this stuff weighing on our minds for the last couple of weeks, and you know, up until we got that phone call on Thursday saying that, you know, everything looked normal, it was just like an emotional roller coaster. Just thinking about, you know, like, are our babies going to be happy and healthy? You know,
if it had been a Down syndrome, like if that had come back that the twins had Down syndrome, that's not an issue for us. It was more that we were worried that they wouldn't survive, and even then, like, looking into high nucleophils in one twin and a normal result in another, you know, it's hard not to come across all this other stuff. Kids Day said.
Have kids day said. It'd be fun. Emily? No. Come on.
Yeah, while looking into all this stuff about nucleophiles and that, it like was finding out a lot more about having MCGA twins, and there's a lot of scary things that come with that. You know, from 16 weeks I will be having scans every 2 weeks, and that's because there's a lot of risks to the babies and growing, and
I didn't think we realised how many more risks there were with twin pregnancy. And as we sort of learned more and more about it, I wouldn't say it got scarier, but it's just more things to be aware of. You know,
for me it was scary. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah, like you saw, I called Charles, he was at work, and I was sobbing. I was crying my eyes out, just overwhelmed. And that's probably the first time I've ever cried in front of Emily, and she was beautiful and trying to make me laugh. And that just, she's really helped so much, you know, when it's been hard. But that's part of the issue, is you realise what you've got to lose when you've got a child, and you love them already so much, and you know you've got 2 more coming.
And Emily, like, Emily's everything they would want in a daughter and more. And you know, we're so looking forward to having 2 more children. And you know, Ellen's right, like, you just know how much more you have to lose.
But we're feeling a lot more positive. Not only were the babies moving so much, it's like twin B's kicking, twin A.
Can you feel that at all? Like, you know, watching the ultrasound and the baby's doing this, and like, you know, they're 7
centimeters.
7 centimeters at the moment, and you just see it doing this.
It's like doing,
and I was just like thinking, like, does she feel that kicking yet, or?
Not yet, soon hopefully. But they're also measuring at the same rate at this point, so that's really good. They were measuring ahead, so they're growing well. So we're positive and hopeful that they're just going to keep going and doing well. And you know, when we first found out I was pregnant with twins, I was positive. I felt happy about things, and you know, hopefully.
I think like with twins, like Ellen's dad's are twins, so you know, we're kind of like seeing who was going to get the twins out of the siblings. And when it kind of came about that, oh, we're having the twins, we're just kind of like, oh yeah, like, you know, we were the lucky ones.
Yeah, we definitely felt lucky.
But then it turns out that, like, you know, it's a different type of twins. So we've got the identical twins, where Ellen's dad is the fraternal twins. So 2 eggs, 2 sperms, not 1 egg that separates, splits.
So our babies were just a fluke. They happened, and you know, we all wanted 3 kids anyway, so we're just doing it a lot quicker. And I think we'll be good twin parents, because we're not generally massive stress. We don't stress. You know, we go with the flow with Emily. She's sometimes the boss, and sometimes we're the boss. We take it day by day, I guess. You know, and that's the way I think it should be, because it's exhausting being a parent, and sometimes it's good to let her take the lead a bit. One thing I read was a blog from a mother who had MCDA twins, and she said, you know, you're getting scans every 2 weeks, and at those scans they're going to tell you bad news. You know, there's something to worry about or stress about, and you know, you just need to get through it. And you know, for her it worked out fine, and her twins were perfectly healthy. I guess the problem with technology these days is they see too much and tell you too much sometimes.
They're too educated.
Probably nice to not know as much.
But focus on the positives, not the negatives.
That's one thing. I think for a little bit there it was like hard to be excited about being pregnant. And
oh, very hard. Like, you know, we were going through, like, you know, this could go wrong, that could go wrong, this could go wrong. And then meanwhile, I'll just be seeing people the first time since we posted something on Facebook. It's like, congratulations, well done, all this sort of stuff. And I was like, yeah, no, it's great. And they're like, you don't seem too excited. And without going into too much depth, because I don't want to go into, like, you know, what's really going on with us, you know, just sort of talking about some of the risks that could be associated with you know, twin birth and stuff like that. And you know, you can't get excited about it because, you know, you've got all this information weighing on you.
And I think, like, if I can tell you anything, is hold off, wait for those results and announce. Try and remember that those results are just a screen as well, though. There's no definites. For us, we, I guess, needed to know if they were okay, to kind of rule out other things so that we could focus just on the rest of the pregnancy.
If I could tell anyone,
Yeah.
hold off telling people till you have 100% confirmation.
But I think as well, like my mum said to me, it doesn't matter anyway. You love your babies, and we do. So for us, it was you want to celebrate them. So there's no harm in announcing too soon. If you're comfortable sharing, I guess the bad, if that happens, unfortunately it does. But yeah, well, I guess if we could go back, we would have waited.
Yeah, just a couple of days. But I like we were torn because we waited like 9 weeks. Look, what's this? What's this? Wow.
She's having fun.
Absolutely. I think for me, part of why we want to sort of document our experiences and our journey. I think for me it's easier to sort of talk out loud, and I find it easier to talk to a camera and just saying out loud what I'm thinking. Come around this way. No, come around this way.
I think I want, it can feel really lonely and you can feel really lost when you're going through pregnancy in general, but when you're going through a high-risk pregnancy or just a pregnancy where you don't know how it differs, it can be really scary and lonely. And I was scouring the internet, trying to find a glimpse of hope for us. So if this can help other people, we're happy to share our journey and
Yeah. So one last thing, I'd like to say a big thank you to our family and friends for all their support. And if you've got twins, expecting twins, pregnant, or just interested in what we've got going on, look out for the upcoming videos, or better yet, subscribe. Thanks guys.